All right, so today you have your graphic organizers. We're going to keep working on our stories. You have pictures on your tables, and I'll be walking around to check to see if you need any help with your trick, okay? So get to work.
Okay, in this first instance, you saw that the teacher began by stating to the entire class, here's what we're going to do. You're going to get started on your task. You're going to use the trick, which if you see up on the whiteboard, she's got POW already written up there, and that stands for pick my idea, organize my notes, write and say more. She's clarified the tasks to the class. She's told everybody she's going to be walking around to offer any help. And immediately, the first instance of the target behavior, noncompliance, occurs. Cameron flips his paper over and begins doing something, but it's not the task that she asked for. So on your sheet where you have behavior, you can write down noncompliance because that is the target behavior. He's not complying. And if you have a very thorough operational definition of noncompliance, you won't necessarily need to write more, but you might want to. You could write noncompliance, turns paper over, begins writing. The column to the left is the antecedent. That's what was happening in the classroom right before he exhibited noncompliance. In this case, I would simply write, teacher provides direction to the whole class on getting started. The next thing I would write is that the teacher offers assistance, making it clear that she's going to be walking around the classroom, offering help. And then to the left of that, you have the time column. And let's say this happens all at 9:04 in the morning. So right now on your sheet, you have 9:04. You have the antecedent condition being teacher gives directions, offers assistance. You have the target behavior listed as noncompliance, turns paper over, starts writing, and let's see what the consequence is for him.
Cameron, we're working on this side of the paper. Thank you.
I want to do this.
Cameron, you can focus. You can do this. Think of the tricks. I can do this.
I don't want to do this.
Cameron.
Now, in the next part of the chain, we saw that the teacher walked over to him and was very clear in her consequence and said, Cameron, we're working on this side of the page right now. And that was the consequence for him. So that's what happened immediately following his noncompliance. She came over and redirected him. So I would, in that column, write, teacher redirects. Now that consequence actually becomes the antecedent for the next instance of the behavior. And you could simply draw an arrow if you wanted to from consequences to the next line in your antecedent chart. Or you could write the exact same wording again. And this time we then see another instance of noncompliance where he says, I don't want to do this. And he throws down his pencil on top of the desk. And you see this is very quick. It's like maybe not even 9:05 yet, but you can write the next time or you can write plus 30 seconds. And then he again has an instance of noncompliance. And let's see what the new consequence is.
Cameron, you can focus. You can do this. Think of the tricks. I can do this.
I don't want to do this.
Cameron, do you want to go visit the principal?
Now, very quickly, you saw again 2 more instances of noncompliance. She responded by providing encouragement, saying, remember, use the trick, you can do this. But that same consequence again served as a prompt, which was the antecedent for his final instance of noncompliance. And he again refused to do the task. And then her consequence that time was to say, do you want to go to the principal's office? So in each instance, you can see it's escalating, like an acting out cycle, which you have the opportunity to learn about in another module. We sometimes, unintentionally, teachers and students can escalate each other to the point where this exact thing happens, that teachers reach the limits for which they're willing and able to tolerate in the classroom. So the ultimate consequence now in this sequence was that he was offered the choice of going to the principal's office, and he elected to take that option. So now he's leaving the class. Now you may notice that some of the students started laughing at that point. When we look at this ABC chart, at first glimpse, it seems to be super cut and dry that, yes, this child is clearly escape motivated. And then we kind of are left wondering, is it possible that maybe this child's also maintained by attention? That may be, but in this instance, it's to a far lesser extent than the main function, which is escape. Sometimes kids have certain behaviors that are extremely reinforcing because they're serving more than one function. When I look at this instance, this one snapshot in time of Cameron's day, if I was coding, I would see that in each instance, his behavior was being reinforced by escape from task because he spent time arguing with the teacher rather than doing the assignment. And ultimately, he did get some attention at the end, both from the teacher and from the peer.